So, from Burlington we can get to New Orleans. Sunday? So we leave, if that leaves, yeah, tomorrow. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, it's 3 days. I don't want to go that way. I don't want to go that way, and it's 3 days. 3 days I can scarcely afford. If I could get to Chicago, Toronto, Washington, that way would be good. I'd take Atlanta if I could. I don't know. I guess we're going to have to explore. The other one leaves at 6 PM, so I got time during the day to explore, and if no other routes come up, I suppose, then, yeah, New Orleans. We'll pass the night here. Burlington was situated on the west bank of the Mississippi River, and had grown to prominence along with the steamboats that paddled up and down the long stretch of the river. Construction of the Burlington Railway route had caused a temporary influx of Chinese and Irish labourers into the town, where many of them drank and generally had a good time. Good times were a scarce commodity in Burlington, or so it seemed to me. The town distinguished itself in my memory as the place where I managed to buy, and then immediately burn, a shirt for Monsieur Fogg. He was not terribly understanding. I apologised most profusely, and Monsieur Fogg informed me that he preferred proper action to tedious apologies. This is growing to be a habit, Passepartout. I do not like it. We need to explore, in case there's any other routes. I struck up a few conversations here and there, hunting for options for how we might proceed, and apparently turned up nothing, it would seem. Yeah, New Orleans, literally the only route we have. Ish. Alright, let's do it. At least everywhere is fairly comfortable in the US. It's all of them are just like, yep, this is a good option, this is alright. I bought all that train gear, and I don't know if we're going to make any more train journeys at this stage. We boarded the Dark Queen, a twin-decked, six-boiler steamwheeler bound for New Orleans. Mississippi was famed for the luxury of her steamboats, but also for their unfortunate tendency towards catastrophic boiler explosions. I felt lucky, though, and quite certain that nothing ill would befall us on our journey to Crescent City. We were certainly due a good turn, were we not? Was there not? I was thinking there was another route we could have got to New Orleans. I suppose if we had got off at Cheyenne and gone via Dallas, I would have been able to sell the stuff that I wanted to sell at Dallas, and we would have wound up at New Orleans anyway. Well, hindsight and all that. We wouldn't have... I suppose we wouldn't have got to fight Jesse James, which was quite entertaining. However... that really didn't achieve or do anything, whereas Dallas and New Orleans would have been a more profitable route, I suppose. Actually, did I want to go through Houston as well? I might have done. From there, I guess I'd want to try and get to New Orleans, but maybe they're only connected to Havana, I don't know. You can never just assume things are going to go your way in this. I mean, look, Burlington's right next to Chicago. I kind of would have said, hey, we should be able to get to Chicago from here. Apparently not. But they haven't finished the railway, right? I guess that's what the railway would have gone possibly around that way. Anyway, on the steamer, what happened next? I conversed with someone, that's what we did. Greetings, Mademoiselle Greenwood. Honestly, I don't know what I'm doing aboard this thing. Is it possible to get from New Orleans to New York? The route from New Orleans to New York is timed up. Oh, alright. Oh, it is a train, though. Oh, that should be useful then, because I have the train stuff. Oh, maybe we are taking another train. Speaking of trains, I understand my mother once took the Winnipeg and Duluth Railroad from Chicago to Winnipeg. Okay. From New York, can we get to... I would have loved that to just say London. Toronto, Dallas, Miami... Why would I want any of those routes? Miami at best, I suppose? It's possible to travel from... Is it possible to travel to from New York to Miami? Did you know that the fastest way to Miami is from here is via Atlanta? Now tell me, do you approve of all this gambling? No, I don't. I must confess I do not. I think I will speak to the captain about it. Yay, she's on my side. Cool. There's always kind of like flip a coin with some of these. It's like, I don't know whether she approves of gambling or not. New York. Do you know, tell me more about New York. You might be interested that you can pick up rare and misprinted stamps in New York that sell for a fortune in Lisbon. Are we going that way? Ooh, Ponte Delgado, I'm pretty sure, is away from the US. That's okay. Have you heard the quickest way to Ponte Delgado from here is through Port-au-Prince? Is that how you I think that's how you pronounce that. I know it's Prince, but I think it's pronounced like that, right? Port-au-Prince? I don't know. I don't know these things. New York to Caracas. Probably the quickest way to Caracas is via Port-au-Prince, whatever the heck it was. I don't know. Anyway, Winnipeg, Duluth, Chicago. Good, I'm not going that way. Let me just check what we do know then. So I'm like, oh, is the way from New York to Miami? Well, yeah, of course. She said, yeah, the quickest way is via Atlanta. Well, there's got to be somewhere from New York. Judging by the fact there's an airship here, someone must have caught an airship that way. That is Ponta Delgado, that's where I thought that was, yes. And then would that wind us up in Lisbon, maybe? From Lisbon, I suppose I would then... I don't know, Snowdon? Snowdon? Snowdon's a place? Really? Snowdon? Okay. Yeah, I want to go via New York, because I feel like that's probably the closest route, but maybe this would be the most practical. Miami, Nassau, Port-au-Prince, whatever. Caracas. Oh god, no, I don't want to go to Caracas. That's going away from home. In fact, that's just not actually. That's going more sort of at a tangent to home. Anyway, the common rooms and lounges of the Dark Queen were full of gamblers enticing passengers into games of dice or cards. The reports had been passing more and more regulation, and the cheats and crooks had all fled to the unregulated waters of the Mississippi to ply their trade. A fool and his money are soon parted, so the saying went, and I had little pity to waste on fools, though Monsieur Fogg clearly found the entire operation distasteful. Relations have deteriorated slightly. Why did they deteriorate? Hang on, we both didn't approve of gambling. Ah, Captain. Passepartout, you slimy dog. I said that in almost a jovial kind of way, but I don't think that's meant to be interpreted as a he likes me kind of thing. Can we get from New Orleans to well, actually, it's just asking about New York, isn't it? We know we can get to New York. From New York, can we get to Miami? Someone's been telling tall tales now. Anyway, do you play the trombone? He seems like a man who likes the trombone. Yes, I play the trombone. Indeed. I am thinking of starting a jazz band. Good, good, glad. New York. Is the quickest way to New York through here is through Atlanta. From New York, can we get to Ponta Delgado? I think someone's been telling tall tales. From New York to Dakar? Quickest way to Dakar is via Caracas. Oh, Lord. That's not helpful. I'm finding so many routes that are just like Canada, and it's like I'm not going near Canada. Dakar's there, yeah, and from there I would have to go to Caracas. Whew, that would be the long way around, wouldn't it? Miami, Port-au-Prince, Caracas, Dakar. They're presumably up through Marrakesh, Lisbon, up to London that way? That would be cutting it fine to try and do that in 20 days. I reckon we can make that in 20 days. That all the way around here in 20 days. That's a little bit more challenging, I think. Captain Latour was clearly quite cozy with the gamblers and had something of their attitude himself. I'll wager I can get us to New Orleans in 3 days rather than 4, he shouted to the room at large. Who'll take the wager? It would be a risky prospect, pushing the Dark Queen's engines to the brink. And I said so. The captain scratched his beard and sighed the captain scratched his beard and sighed and scratched his beard again. Perhaps you're right, he said at length. Ah! Day 60, Monsieur Fogg murmured that night in his sleep, and still some distance you have to travel. Yeah, I know. By the way, I've done that one before. I know the ship explodes, and there's probably a way actually it doesn't, but it can go very, very badly wrong very, very easily. I'll say that much for it. Monsieur Fogg, how's our money? We are very well provided for. I was saying you've been most cautious. I will say you've been cautious so far. I don't feel like it. What have you learned about New Orleans, the Crescent City? I have no idea why. What about Atlanta? Atlanta was burned down in a fire towards the end of the war. It has not yet recovered. Very good. Oh, I guess, I bet if I had the sort of restorative thing, I could have used the restorative thing to boost his health some more there. Yeah. Captain Latour ordered the Calliope to play a tune in the evening. It was a grand brass-keyed musical instrument powered by the steam from the engine boilers. It's magnificent, I commented to the captain, who grinned boyishly. Isn't it? He shouted happily. The townsfolk along the river hate it! Then why do you do it? Why not? Captain Latour winked. This is freedom, he shouted as the Calliope whistled. This is America, here on the Mississippi. Why not indeed? Let us read the newspaper just before we land. San Francisco Chinatown riots. Ooh, I was just there not so long ago. Got out just in time, I guess. Hopefully I didn't cause it in some strange way, shape or form. It seems like most of the Times headlines seem to be related to me in one way or another recently. Yeah. We docked at the New Orleans... We docked at the New Orleans? Or just New Orleans? Docked at New Orleans when the sun was low in the sky, glinting over the brackish water of the river and bathing the French and Spanish colonial villas of the city in soft yellow light. I could have got us here yesterday, Captain Latour muttered sourly as he shook our hands on the gangplank. Don't let your caution rule you. New Orleans is a city to abandon yourself in. He wouldn't have got us here yesterday. He would have got us exploded on the banks of the river Mississippi. Which would have taken a very, very long time. Alright, let us plan. New York. I'm sure it can be adjusted. The full railwayman's uniform should be useful. No charge, leaves at 2 PM. Let's go! Yes! That's why I bought the hat! That's why I bought the hat! That's why I bought the hat! That one paid off so well. That was the best investment I made in this game. The hat was great. It was like, oh, you have a whistle and a hat! That's fantastic news! Let's go now. I pushed the departure of the train forward by 2 days because I had a whistle and a hat on me. Yes. Yes. Good. The Piedmont airline from New Orleans was not in fact an airline at all, but according to its advertising, the fastest railway in America. Hardly a bold claim, considering there are only 2 truly significant lines in the continent, but nonetheless it gave my master some satisfaction when he saw the slogan on the wall of the compartment. And in the news is... Cholera spreading from Manila aboard airships. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I was saying about the Times headlines? Yeah. Actually, to be fair, that one weren't me. That were Phileas Fogg.